Okay. Well, when I go over trying to get help for this, I do state that I do want 10%. That is want. I'm really more interested in getting this thing done and getting it out there, and whatever I get is whatever I get. Um, but in any case, I am willing to put into anything. I mean, I will try to get something, but in any case, I will put in this thing that I want to try to get the whole thing done. And also, if I'm found to be a liar or not have integrity, that I could be treated like crap and get nothing. I do try to tell the truth, and I will continue to try to tell the truth as best as I can. Um, there are methods that to get into the probables on things to expect if I do get this thing doing. There are methods to turbocharge this. I don't think anybody's going to come up with some of the crap that I came up with, and it's very important, and it needs to be done, it needs to be looked into, and there are reasons why I don't just put it out there, being the fact that I want to make sure that this gets done. And um, and I'm not just talking about putting steel manufacturing and other manufacturing in there to heat up the moisture to get the convection cycle to go up faster. Um, anyhow, a lot of people do have a problem with how much energy the structure will consume. Generally not too many, but they mention it, and the amount of energy it will consume will be very insignificant to the benefits. I mean, it'd be like having an 18-wheeler going, one every 20 yards in a city, on the freeways. It's like we're putting out way more energy right now to transport around the city. The amount of energy that this project would consume would be negligent. Um, as far as what I state that I'm going to be able to do, or at least try to do as best I can, and that they should have a good probability of being able to do, controlling weather, controlling sea level, controlling the temperature of the earth, um, cooling down cities locally based on that solar crap that I was talking about. Reduce the acidity in the ocean. Well, that's mostly just seaweed. But I do have some other methods of CO2 sequestration that aren't being done right now. Keeping tornadoes from hitting major cities with my tornado killers. I've got major improvements on those. Things that, guaranteeing clear days for parades. That should be easily done. Um, Watering drought-stricken areas like the west coast of the United States, and stopping major flooding events. Um, if done right, the ability to increase food production to feed 20 billion people. Huge expenditures, um, but, would be needed, but that would be for my self-contained waterways to transport food, people, water, cargo, and energy at speeds of 100 miles per hour or more. Um, I'm doubtful of a quick fix of CO2 sequestration, even using my methods. We're talking about 1 to 3 trillion tons, and I'm really afraid that right now methane is going to start coming up, and that I won't be able to fix it in time. This would have been great 5 years ago. Um, but in 5 years, I might say the same thing, because we just don't know how much and how fast that 2,400 gigatons just in the East Siberian Arctic Shelf. I mean, there's a lot of methane out there. Um, it is scary. I, um, hopefully help stop the loss of the coral. I don't know. That's if we could overcome the acidification. And with 7 Australias, we just need to start planting sea life, and that's all I could do. Is I mean, that's one of the main things to use the ship as a nursery for, is to replenish the ocean life. Um, just like the killer whales, it'll require major effort to stop the killer whales from dying. I think it needs to be done. We need to be like, helping to feed them so they're not feeding on plastics when they're hungry. Make sure they're getting good food. But, that's just like, we need to create enough seaweed to not only feed the additional food to make sure the killer whales are eating good so they don't eat all that plastic, stop the plastic from going to the ocean, and grow more food so that everybody will be, okay. Increase the salmon runs. Don't put mines in where uh, we have great salmon runs. People just got to get the world to listen to the best climate scientists, who will, as a group, will figure out the best things to do. And we got to pay them and assist them, give them assistance, make sure that they don't have to worry about doing tedious things. Just listen to the scientists and do what you're told by the scientists. Um, I need to hire a bunch to go over the project and figure out, what's what and stuff. Um, and other partial solutions, like if mine isn't being looked into, I'm sure there's lots of other people with great ideas that aren't being looked into. Um, but they should be all well scrutinized. Uh, 1.5 million 501c3s. Ah. Um, you got to treat all self-proclaimed claims climate scientists with no degree, but geoengineering techno fixes that might even kill thousands or millions. If the fixes go real bad, you need to treat them better. Um, you got to look into the scrap and figure it out. Um, Otherwise, thousands and billions, and we'll die. That is the general prediction. 2 billion in food insecurity. Just wait till you start seeing people die by the mass. And India's not looking good. All those farmers, it's not looking good. I do not like what I see. Um, the bioweb is faltering on the ocean and land, I guess. What people call bioweb, whatever. Um, Need to slow that warming down in the ocean and just cross your finger. Um, you know, of course, you must drink the Kool-Aid, or rather, understand the feasibility of the project and get convinced that it's the right thing to do. That is if you want to help. Being that it could kill millions due to things that nobody knows of, or it's known that there are unknowns out there that we do not know about, which will affect any solution, which are most likely to be bad. So even if my project should work, other solutions should be looked into. Unfortunately, all other solutions suck except for mine and mirrors in space. Uh, in the Grange point, that is, which has some of the same obvious problems as mine, being that with any major release in methane, there's no countering the fact that the equator would be hotter with all that methane out there on an extreme level, will make it impossible for the Earth to get back to the state that it's in without capturing the methane, which will be impossible with our current technology. Add to that, while checking out other solutions, millions are dying currently from global warming and all the other crap that's happening. Um, and after seeing that the other climate scientists right now have no idea on what to do, and none of the other solutions out there will work, in my opinion. Although some of them should be done, need to be done. Um, and, you know, all I could do is go over my solution and have it criticized openly so I can respond to the critics and try to do as good a job as I can. Um, being that I want to have all my project done, including any starvation, even that I'd probably be willing to bend on, and that I'm just going to statement that I'll be wanting 10% of the cost of the project to do other things, mostly that will benefit society, and no requirement in place other than just to say it is just a want. Just having the project done and ending starvation would be enough to having lived a fulfilling life. For me, there's plenty more I could do for sure. Um, if you if you're able to have reached the point of having drunk in the Kool-Aid, or rather learn about my project, get involved, get your families involved, friends at work, legislatures, university, or whatever, also involved if you can and if they want to. And then get your ass over here and help get this thing done. I'm tired, back. 20 years of people lying to me, not listening to me, not listening to scientists, speaking the truth, referring to as lies, and published in scientific journals denounced by other scientists who aren't listened to, some of which have lost jobs over us and thus silenced to some degree, just tired of all. But I will trudge on. We'll add this stuff I'm writing the video, hope to do today. And I'm sick of all the, things. I've had a couple death threats, nothing much to mention. I've had lots of vile hatred speech, though, that just based on lies, and it's really disgusting. And I've seen that happen to other climate scientists and other people. Read about it, seen how the climate scientists are being fired. It's totally disgusting the way they're just, rejecting climate science. Um, uh, but if I do get help and you do join me, um, hopefully seeing the suffering others and their dependency on getting help be, will help. Will be able to give you the drive to continue on and being able to end their suffering and end starvation, and all the good that will come from the work will give you a feeling of great fulfillment and end your depression to a degree. Check out my website for more. Um, and I guess that's about it.